Hello and welcome to the Comic Relief. This is the first video for my YouTube channel. I'm going to be reviewing things such as comic books in their collected editions, TV shows, films, pop culture, comic cons, all that kind of geeky stuff that we like. I'm John, I'm from Oldham in the northwest of England, about 7 miles away from Manchester, and yes, I'm a geek. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to do a collection video which will begin shortly, but before I go anywhere else I'd just like to give a shout out to a community that I'm a member of, the Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap and Community on Facebook, which is why I'm here today. I wouldn't be this involved in my collecting if it wasn't for the guys that I've met through that community. I've only been back collecting comics for about 2 years, and when I was delving back in, it was such a wide arena to sort of navigate. I thought, well, I need some pointers. Jumped on YouTube for reviews and recommendations, and there I stumbled upon a channel called Hardcover Reviews, run by a chap called Luis. He gave me some recommendations, not personally, but just through watching his content, and he was also pointing links to the Facebook group that I previously mentioned. Through the Facebook group, I've also met some other people. Jess Bragg, with his channel OmniDog's Vault. There's Ryleymo, the Omnibus Collector. There's Giovanni Menendez, A Week in Geekdom. And Gabe Bustamentes, Gabe Infinity Watch. I hope I'm pronouncing names right there, people. Being from an industrial town in the north of England, we don't have much Hispanic culture, so I apologise. Mi casa, su casa, etc. But those 5 people that I mentioned are members of a collective known as the OmniBros, and they do a live stream on YouTube on their channel OmniBros Live every Thursday evening around about 8 to 8:30 Eastern time in the US, which translates to about 1 AM to 1:30 over here in the UK, which doesn't really bother me because I work odd shifts and I don't finish till midnight, so I get in, put my feet up and tune in. Anyway, on with my collection video. Thank you. Okay, this is my shelf up there. I've got some Hulk hands up there, which were a Christmas present from one of my friends. I'm going to start up here. I apologise for the camera work. I'm trying to negotiate this as best I can. Right, okay, I've got a little Cyclops dude up here. I'll move him out of the way. Most of my books that I buy come from Amazon, UK, or I pick them up at comic fairs, pick the odd thing up off eBay, or there's a discount bookstore that sometimes has collected editions, trades, hardcovers. That's called The Works. It's a chain of shops across the UK. Picked some bargains up from them. Got Astonishing Thor, which is one said book purchased from The Works. I think I paid £5 for that. Got Hickman's Time Runs Out, OHC, followed by Secret Wars. Got Avengers Standoff, which I picked up from one of the members of the Facebook group, Lewis McGregor, for an absolute steal. Thank you, Lewis, for that one. Sorry, I've got Lewis and Lewis on the mind there. This is my one and only omnibus at the moment, which is Brubaker's Captain America, The Trial of Captain America. I do aim to get the other 4. This is book 4 of 5. I know book 5 is easy to get hold of, The Return of the Winter Soldier, but the first 3, Captain America, Death of Captain America and Captain America Lives, I know they're out of print and can be very expensive and a bit of a bugger to track down. I've got Daredevil OHCs by Mark Waid, the full run of 5. Absolutely love that. That's one of the books that I picked up on Hardcover Reviews' recommendation. Absolutely love that. This was another bargain book purchase. Fantastic Four, World's Greatest Comics magazine. Now, this is a bit of a homage to Jack Kirby's days on Fantastic Four. Gabe, I don't know if you've got a copy of this, but it basically fills in what happens between Fantastic Four issues 100 and 101. And it's also got some decent talent who putting this book together. Eric Larson, Kurt Busiek, Jeff Loeb, to name a few. But yeah, it's an interesting collection, and it's done in the style. It's like it's done in the art style of Kirby as well. But I picked that up for like £5 over here, which is what, $6 maybe, something like that. Yeah, anyway, I love these two books, this Spider-Man Back in Black and Spider-Man Peter Parker Back in Black. This one here was a bit of a whale for a time because it had the final bits of the jigsaw I needed to complete my JMS Spider-Man run. I was quite fortunate. This one popped up in another Facebook group, comic books for sale in the UK, and I picked this up for about, I think it was £10, which I thought was a decent price going off what I'd seen it going for on eBay. And lo and behold, about 3 days later, this beauty popped up on eBay, and there was nobody else watching it. There were no bids on it. I kept it on my watch list. I think it ended at like 8 o'clock on a Sunday evening, and I went in, put a bid in with about 30 seconds to go. Nobody else was following it, so I picked it up for the bid that I put in. Absolute steal. Yeah, so I was really chuffed. Really chuffed to get that, and I think they look great on the shelf together with the little spider symbol. I'm so glad that that lines up. My LCD would have been on overdrive if that spider, if the spiders were sort of like out of kilter like that, I would have cried. But never mind. It all works out. We've got X-Men Battle of the Atom, which is a Bendis book. It's a crossover event with Guardians of the Galaxy following all new X-Men. Got some trades here, they're just propping up. You know, it says just these are some, they're a basic looking cover. These are the UK licensed printings by a company called Panini. I don't like the spines on these, but I picked these up for the material when I was getting back into collecting. So I've got House of M, Secret Invasion, Age of Ultron. I've got Civil War, which my eldest son's borrowed and never returned, but hey ho. I moved down to the next shelf. This is my, I'll put Cyclops back up there to guard my omnibus. Don't let anybody near it, Scott. Anyway, this is my Independence shelf of OHCs. I've got Irredeemable Premier Editions volumes 1, 2 and 3. I know that 4 is out there already. I'm not able to purchase that at the moment due to my finances, but I will pick that up. Going back to my LCD, what the hell, boom, what the hell were you thinking? Look at that. Just, you had one job. Line them up. Anyway, absolute cracking book, Irredeemable. It's basically the story of what happens if your Superman character goes bad and the fallout from that. It's written by Mark Waid, and this was recommended not just to me but to pretty much everybody in the Facebook group by Jess Bragg, who was a champion of Mark Waid's Irredeemable. And I think that Jess is getting royalty checks from Mark Waid at the moment. Every time somebody mentions it, puts it in a video, or puts a link to it. But yeah, if you haven't picked up Irredeemable, I highly recommend it. It's very graphic, right from the outset. There's no holds barred. I'm not going to spoil it, but within the first couple of pages, you think, oh shit, what the hell is going down here? Next up, Big Hard Sex Criminals from Image. Really enjoyed that, very funny book. The premise behind this is that the two antagonists in the book, when they have sex, they stop time, but only for everybody else in the world. So they decide that they're going to become bank robbers during the time that everybody else is in this sleep limbo. So yeah, very, very creative and very funny book. Got Ed Brubaker's The Fade Out with his usual team. Sean Phillips on art, Elizabeth Breitweiser on colouring. That's a cracking book. It's a noir story set in Hollywood in the late 40s. A lot of paranoia going on with communism and people being accused of certain things and leanings to the communist parties, and it's basically a murder mystery set in that world. But yeah, Ed Brubaker absolutely nails it. He's probably the top crime writer in comic books at the moment. Got Jason Aaron's Scalped Deluxe Editions, volumes 1 to 5. This was another recommendation from Luis, Hardcover Reviews. Yeah, I love this story. I absolutely love this. I hope that the TV adaptation of this comes off, because I'd love to see this on the screen. Moving across, my one and only Valiant book, which is Harbinger Deluxe Edition Volume 1. This is pretty much Valiant's spin on mutants. It's pretty much the X-Men. I absolutely love this. I want to pick up Volume 2 before that goes out of print. Still available on Amazon for a reasonable, it's 20 odd quid, so hoping to pick that one up. This was, I'm going to skip this one for a moment. This book here, Too Cool to Be Forgotten. This is another recommendation from Jess Bragg, the OmniDog. It's about a guy who's trying to give up smoking, goes to hypnotherapy, and wakes up in his 15-year-old body in 1985. So, bit of a vibe of Back to the Future. So he gets to relive his school years, and yeah, there's the ending of that. If that doesn't make you cry, then you've got no soul, because it's so poignant at the end. He's not gone back to stop himself from smoking. There's a bigger picture, and I absolutely love that. But following on from that, I liked Alex Robinson's writing and art in that so much that I picked up this for, I think I paid, this is Tricked, which is supposed to be a bit of a mystery story. I've only just started reading this, and yeah, I'm enjoying it from the outset. It's similar in style to Too Cool. But yeah, I picked that up for it was no more than £2 used on Marketplace, and it's in very good nick as well, so yeah, happy with that. Some more trades just propping up at the end here. Got Avengers, X-Men, Utopia. Sorry, my focus is a bit off here. I've got Siege, Fear Itself, and AVX, again in that crappy Panini spine version that's, yeah, a bit nah. Moving down, I've just got my Iron Man Mark 43 pop here. I'm moving him out of the way. This is my Marvel Premiere hardcover shelf. Again, some of these were picked up from the discount bookstore, and some are from most of them, the rest of them are from comic fairs. I've got Astonishing Spider-Man and Wolverine, which is like a standalone 6-parter. Really enjoyed that. That was from the cheap shop. This is a random volume of Astonishing X-Men Monstrous. Not sure which volume that is. I've got the others in trade further down down there somewhere. Avengers Prime, Bendis. Standalone Captain America, Man Out of Time. Dark Avengers from Dark Reign. Really enjoyed this. Norman Osborn assembles his team of imposter Avengers. Really enjoyed that. To tie in with that same era, I've also got the Dark X-Men. Some of that is covered in Utopia, if I remember off the top of my head. I've got a isolated New Avengers by Bendis, The Collective. I think that's volume 4. I've got some of the others in varying formats, which I'll get around to. Now, this was one of my sort of coups that I got. I'd picked up, this is Hickman's Fantastic Four. I know Omnibus Volume 1 is ridiculously out of print and so expensive everywhere. I bought Volume 4 in Premier Hardcover Edition for £7 from the Works discount bookshop. So I was on the lookout for the others, and I went to a comic fair and I managed to pick up volumes 2, 3, 5 and 6 for around 30 quid. I think volume 3 was sealed and I paid £3 for it. It was still in the cellophane. £3, $4 I'm guessing. But I've since found out that that's like the ridiculous low print run edition, and I finally got volume 1 from Amazon Marketplace for £2.49 when that arrived, and it's absolutely spot on. There's a little bit of shelf wear on it and that's all. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Got all 6 there of Hickman's Fantastic Four. I've also got volumes 3 and 4 in the same format of FF, but I know I can pick up 1 and 2 in that for reasonably priced, around about £10 I think. That's currently what they're going for on Amazon. Then hit my Spider-Man Premier hardcovers. Got Brand New Day, first 3 volumes. I'm missing New Ways to Die and Crime and Punisher, which I've read digitally, but I want them in the same format. Prices on those are a bit fluctuating at the moment. I'm not paying 30 quid for a single hardcover of this size, so yeah, I've not dipped in yet and bought those. Craven's First Hunt, Death and Dating, Died in Your Arms Tonight, American Son, 24/7, Election Day. I do like this, especially the cover. Makes you long for the good old days. Yeah, I'm kind of guessing that there would never in a million years have been a Donald Trump version of that. I think if there was, then Spidey could have maybe put some webbing over his mouth. Anyway, moving on. Red-Headed Stranger. I'm missing Return of the Black Cat to finish that particular sequence. It then jumps on to The Gauntlet, which I've read those digitally as well. Then I've just got a couple of Siege hardcovers, Battlefield and Embedded. Just wait for my focus to catch up there. Right, moving down. This is my Marvel Now shelf. Got a Lego Quinjet there, which I got with the PS4 version of Lego Marvel Avengers. So yes, this is my Marvel Now. These are the smaller thin hardcovers, not the OHCs. These are all pretty cheap on Amazon, so I got these when I was first back into collecting, so I didn't really excuse me, I didn't really know what formats were available. I was just picking up what I thought I need, so I picked quite a few books up in this format. I do like them. I don't see any reason to trade up on these. I'm quite happy with them in this. I do want to get this one. I've got Avengers World in trade, and I'll LCD that tells me I need to get that to match the others. So I've got All New X-Men, Guardians of the Galaxy crossover, All New X-Men, Captain America by Rick Remender, Deadpool. This is the Persane and Duggan run. I've got 4 volumes of that so far. Iron Man by Kieran Gillen. New Avengers, which ties in with the Avengers at the start over there by Hickman. Uncanny X-Men, which ties into all new X-Men. And here at the end was probably the books that everybody's got. Tom King's The Vision, probably one of the greatest books of last year. Now this, if they do release, I've got the wrong way around. OCD, come on John, get yourself sorted, mate. Absolutely love this. I will pick up the hardcover if they bring out an OHC of this. Moving on, I've got some more crappy UK Panini imprints of... Oops, sorry, I'm just losing my phone there for a second. Amazing Spider-Man, this is the JMS run. Following on with an Ultimate Collection. I've got this, like I said, I've got the back in black hardcovers, and then I've got most of the run in this cheap, tacky looking trade edition. Ultimate Collection Volume 4. Then got these two, not these two, that one and that one. They should be together actually. Need to sort my shit out. Come on, John. Yeah, there's two Civil War books. Amazing Spider-Man, Road to Civil War, that have some of the... I only bought those for the JMS Spider-Man issues. Got One More Day, probably one of the most hated Spider-Man stories of all time. I do understand why they did it. It wasn't JMS's idea, it was a Marvel editorial decision to change everything. But that gave us Brand New Day and the reboot, so hey ho. Astonishing X-Men, I've got a run of those. 1 and 2 I've got in a different format, which I'll show you. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm guessing the other one I've got Monstrously 7, because I'm missing 8. There's another standalone story there, Xenogenesis, which ties in. That's Warren Ellis. A couple of Captain America one-offs. Daredevil Yellow by Loban Sale. Guardian Devil, Daredevil by Kevin Smith. I've got Ultimate Collection 1 from Brian Michael Bendis of Daredevil. I need to pick up 2 and 3, and then I can start reading Brubaker's. I've got Brubaker's Daredevil. I've got 1 and 2. I need to pick up number 3 of those. I've got a random edition of Mark Waid and Mike Wieringo's Fantastic Four, which I picked up for a couple of quid. Jessica Jones Alias Volume 1. New Avengers. That's 2 different runs there. That's, I think, Secret and Lies. That's, yeah, the Sentry comes in there, which I've got. That's upstairs. Breakout, Sentry, Secrets and Lies. Then the Collective, which is further up the shelf. And then this is from the other run of New Avengers. I've only got 2 and 5 of those, which I've just picked these up randomly because they were very cheap. Siege, Dark Avengers, first 4 volumes of Ultimate X-Men in varying imprints. Looks like most of them are all different. There's just a book there holding up that end. Oh, moving down to the bottom, I'm just going to get on the floor. This is my indie shelf. I've got Why the Last Man, Volume 1. I love that. I need to pick the rest of those up. Preacher, books 1, 2 and 3. Jason Aaron's Southern Bastards. Cracking Image Story, which I need to pick the rest of those up. Nailbiter, I absolutely love those. Dipped into East of West by Hickman. Yeah, I need to get the rest of those. The first 2 trades of Paper Girls by Brian K. Vaughan. That's a cracking little story as well. Ed Brubaker's Kill or Be Killed. looking forward to volume 2 of that coming out. That's when I'll be picking up as soon as it comes out. Tom King's The Sheriff of Babylon. I've got the first 2 trades. I absolutely love this. Tom King's just knocking it out of the park at the moment with The Vision from last year and then Sheriff of Babylon. I can't wait for volume 3 of this. If you don't know the story, Sheriff of Babylon, it's set in Iraq following the invasion in 2003, and the main character is security, and he's training up the Iraqi police force. And Tom King was actually in the CIA. He volunteered to join the CIA after 9/11. Prior to that, he was working at Marvel. He then joined the CIA after 9/11 and was an operative working in the Middle East for many years. So this is all based on, you know, it's reality and it's his spin on things that he's seen. You know, this even had to be vetted by the CIA before it could be published. But it's a cracking book. If you've not picked this up, then you're missing out. I think the first trade's like, I think you can pick it up for about 6 or 7 quid over here in the UK. Got a couple of random ex-library books I picked up for a few pence, purely because they're Ed Brubaker. I do want to get the rest of these. Criminal Volume 1, and this is Volume 2, I think, of Incognito, so I need to pick the first one up. Postal Volume 1, which was a gift. I've got a random Dynamite Battlestar Galactica issue by Greg Pak. But I love this because I love Ronald D. Moore's Battlestar Galactica, probably my favourite TV show of all time. And Greg Pak's a pretty solid writer anyway. Chasing Dogma, which is a Kevin Smith book with Jay and Silent Bob, and random appearance by what's the fella called, the guy who plays Barney in How I Met Your Mother. Neil Patrick Harris is one of the cameos in that. But this is the story between Chasing Amy and Dogma. It just fills in what Jay and Silent Bob are up to. Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2 by Mark Miller. Not Millar, as some people say. It is actually Miller. And Alan Moore's Watchmen. I think everybody's got that one. Also, DKR, Dark Knight Rises by Frank Miller. I think everybody's got that. I've got a random Kevin Smith Batman The Widening Gyre, only because my son ended up with 2 copies of it. He's the DC collector, so for a change I got one of his cast-offs. He tends to get all my duplicates. I've got The Complete Mouse by Art Spiegelman. Yeah, it's not very often that a comic book wins the Pulitzer Prize, but yeah, this one did, and quite rightly so. This is a graphic tale. It's the true story of somebody's account of their time in Auschwitz during the Second World War, during the Holocaust, and it does make you cry at times. I've got a couple of random books that are just propping up. I've got Kevin Smith's first autobiography and Carrie Fisher's The Princess Diarist. Right, I'm going to move over to the other side of the room. Hello. Right, I'm back. Now, this is my overspill shelf. I've got my my Squadron of Iron Man figures here, holding up my. They're not actually holding them up. They're held up by some bookends there. These are the encyclopedia type books that DK seems to publish for absolutely everything. But yeah, I picked these up from the discount bookshop for £5 a time or whatever. This is my Iron Man helmet, which I've been making for a while now. I've not done any work on this for a long time. It's actually made of cardboard, covered in fiberglass, and then car body filler. But yeah, I'm going to get that finished. It needs a bit more sanding, a bit more filling, a bit more detailing. But yeah, I think that'll be cool. It's not wearable. It's not intended to be wearable, but I just think it'd be a really cool thing to have on display once it's finished. And even better to know that I've actually constructed it myself. So yeah, there's my Iron Man. Blu-rays, all the usual geeky stuff on there. Most of the MCU things, I don't think I've got the latest ones as of yet. I think the last one there's Ant-Man. I'm missing a couple. Moving down another step. This is, let me pan back for this one. This is a collection of books that I subscribe to. I get 2 of these every month. As you can see, it's not quite complete yet, as the spines aren't quite making the image as it will appear. This is a Gabriele Dell'Otto piece that's spanning the spines here. But this is the ultimate, let me just get one out, the Ultimate Graphic Novels Collection by Marvel. It's got a bit of looks like a bit of packaging glue from the cellophane on it. But yeah, this is it's quite a diverse collection of books. That's one of the reasons I subscribe to it. Like this one here, I'll just show you. Fantastic Four 1, Amazing Fantasy 15, Incredible Hulk 1, Daredevil 1, Tales of Suspense 39, which is Iron Man, I think, is it? Possibly Thor. Don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head. X-Men number 1, Avengers number 1, Avengers number 4, Tales to Astonish, Tales to Astonish again. I'm guessing that'll be Thor, Iron Man, and potentially Ant-Man. Let me just ease this one back in. Sorry, I'm a bit tightly packed here. Let's have a look. The other kind of books we're getting. Avengers, Birth of Ultron by Roy Thomas. X-Men Second Genesis, which is obviously giant size X-Men onwards. Iron Man, Demon in a Bottle. Dark Phoenix. Alan Moore's Captain Britain. Frank Miller's Wolverine. And Chris Claremont. Secret Wars Part 1 from the 80s. Frank Miller's Daredevil, Born Again. Spider-Man, Birth of Venom. Spider-Man, Kraven's Last Hunt. So it's like I say, it's a diverse collection. Some of these are things that I wouldn't have normally picked up. That's one of the reasons that I subscribed. I've got a Peter David run on the Hulk, Silent Screams, featuring the Grey Hulk. Now this book is absolutely beautiful, by Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross. The art on this is just perfect. This is the Marvel origins of Spider-Man, the X-Men, Fantastic Four, but seen through the eyes of a photographer, and who refers to them as the Marvels, and it's so well done. And this is a book that everybody should have in the collection. Everybody. Avengers Forever Parts 1 and 2. Thor in Search of the Gods, Dan Jurgens. Ennis and Dillon's Punisher, Welcome Back Frank, Part 1. Part 2 is coming in my next subscription. Ultimate Spider-Man, Part 1 by Bendis. Spider-Man Coming Home, which kicks off JMS's run. 2 volumes of New X-Men by Grant Morrison and Frank Whiteley. E is for Extinction and Imperial. Spider-Man Blue by Logan Sale. Captain America The New Deal, John Nay Ryber and John Cassaday. Ultimates Volume 1 by Mark Miller, Brian Hitch, Superhuman. Secret War by Bendis, Avengers Disassembled by Bendis, the Dan Slott's She-Hulk, Joss Whedon and John Cassaday's Astonishing X-Men, Gifted and Dangerous, Avengers Breakout by Bendis, Iron Man Extremis, Warren Ellis, Brubaker's Winter Soldier, Steve Epting, Planet Hulk Part 1 and Part 2, by Greg Pak, Marvel Zombies by Robert Kirkman and Sean Phillips, Thor Reborn by JMS, and finally on this bit of the shelf is Captain America The Chosen by David Morrell and Mitch Breitweiser. Now, interesting fact, if you don't know, David Morrell is the writer of First Blood and creator of the Rambo character. So yeah, I've not read this yet. I'm going to pick this up over the weekend and have a look at that one. Moving down, this is the final little bits and bats. This is just some more of those encyclopedia books. How to Draw Marvel Comics, blah blah blah. Then I've got 5-6 books from the Gary Larson Far Side. Now, again, these are absolute classics. If you don't know Gary Larson, go and have a look. They're mainly one panel, very ironic, very dark. Little things. Let me just show you an example of one. There's a lot of anthropomorphized animals, especially dogs, cats. You know, things like this, they're all done in pretty much one panel. Some of them are a bit hit and miss, but yeah, if you've not checked out Gary Larson, I think these were originally syndicated for, I think they were put in the newspapers, in the comic dailies. Got a random N64 cartridge there for Rugrats, whatever that is. I can't give this away, nobody seems to want it, but if anybody wants that, just leave a comment and you can have it. I'll send it in the post. Over here, that's some more of my collecting kind of stuff. I'll just show you quickly. Completely different tack, but this is one of my other hobbies. I collect British stamps from throughout the ages. So I guess collecting in one form or another is something that we all do. It's just to what degrees that we actually, no, that has no place on our comic video other than it's part of my shelf and it shows that collecting is geeky. Anyway, I'm going to sign off there. Thank you for watching. I know I've taken up too much of your time. If you do like the video, please give me a like and a subscribe below. There will be more content to follow. And as mentioned, please hit up some of the other guys that I mentioned: A Week in Geekdom, Gabe Infinity Watch, OmniDog's Vault, the Omnibus Collector, and last but in no way least, Hardcover Reviews. Like I say, I'll post all their links down below. And also come and have a look for us on the Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap and Community Facebook group, which again, the link will be posted below. Thank you ever so much for bearing with me on my first video. Take care and you all have a nice day now. Goodbye. You're still here? It's over. Go home. Oh,